This is VFL Weekly Wrap, semi-final week. We'll talk about the other game first. This was Saturday night at Frankston Oval. Frankston were up against Casey. Frankston had a shocker the week before. Casey in good form, winning 6 in a row. But Frankston got them by 11 points. 16-5, 101 to 13-12, 90. Frankston jumped out. They were 42 points up early in the third quarter. And that was at the back of 9 unanswered goals. So they got on a roll there. Casey made a comeback, but it wasn't enough. Too much to do. Frankston, once again, getting looked after in the free kick count, 23-12. Now for Frankston, Tom Blomirez, he's had an unbelievable year. 33 possessions, 8 clearances and a goal. Darby Hipwell, 32 possessions, 11 clearances and a goal. Now those two players came from Sandringham last year. And Jackson Voss, 34 possessions, 8 marks. For Casey, Mitch Hardy, 22 possessions, 9 tackles, 3 goals. The ruckman, Tom Campbell, 23 possessions, 9 clearances, 47 hitouts. I saw this on a live stream the second half. It was a gutsy effort from Frankston because they were pathetic last time I went against Footscray. They got smashed by 80 points, only kicked free 7-25. And they were backs against the wall, playing against an informed team. But when they're at home under lights, it's a different story. That crowd, apparently it was 4,500 people there. It was a 7:30 kickoff at night. And it was a good game of football. So they're through to the prelim. Casey are gone. They're done for the year. Now the game I went to was at Box Hill City Oval between Box Hill and Brisbane. It was a beautiful day on Saturday. Windy though. First time I went to Box Hill City Oval. Very impressive ground. Big ground. Nice looking ground. And it was an absolute thriller all the way. Box Hill winning with the last kick of the game by 3 points. 18-7, 115 to 16-16, 112. Now the wind was blowing towards the scoreboard end. It was a White Horse Road end. I reckon it was worth at least 3 goals, maybe 4. Brisbane wasted the first quarter. They kicked 3 goals, 7 to 3-3. The second quarter was very entertaining. Box Hill kicked 6 goals, 2. Brisbane kicked 6 straight. It was a cracking half of football. But remarkably in the third quarter, well, Brisbane didn't put them away, did they? Brisbane kicked 4 goals, 7 in the third quarter. Box Hill, absolutely nothing, nada. They were terrible in that quarter. Brisbane were all over them. And Brisbane, even though they led by 33 points at three-quarter time, they should have led by more because they were the better team. And it bit him in the ass because Box Hill had an amazing last quarter. 9 goals 2 to 3 goals 2 to pinch the win. Major goal kickers for Box Hill. Mitch Lewis, he kicked 4. 4 other players kicked 2 goals. Max Ramsden, Kyder Clace, the ruckman Ned Rees, and Bodie Ryan. For Brisbane, Henry Smith kicked 4. 3 players kicked 2 each. Connor McKenna, Brandon Ryan, Will McLaughlin. Now both teams had 6 players that kicked 1 goal each. The possessions for Box Hill, Henry Hustwaite again. 37 possessions, 11 clearances. Cam McKenzie, 31 possessions, 10 clearances. For Brisbane, Dara Joyce, 26 possessions, 9 marks. Oscar McInerney and ruckman, 21 possessions, 25 hitouts, 8 clearances and a goal. Devon Robertson, 21 possessions, 8 tackles, 8 clearances. Brisbane were in front for 96 minutes. Box Hill for 31 minutes. Now, Brandon Ryan, well, they dominated that third quarter. Brandon Ryan had a shot at three-quarter time. It was an absolute sitter, an absolute soda. He kicks that goal. It's done. The game's done. It would have been 38 points, but he missed. And I just had a sneaky feeling that that could cost him the game, or it's going to be close. And I was right. Now, the last quarter, Box Hill kicked 4 goals in the first 8.5 minutes. And Ned Reeves, he kicked 2 goals in that last quarter. He kicked the goal at the 29-minute mark for a 9-point lead. And it looked like Box Hill had him. It was done. But then remarkably, Brisbane kicked 2 goals in 2 minutes to grab the lead and look like it was a match-winning lead. But then, out of the middle, with seconds left, Bodie Ryan took a mark and won the game. It was 30 metres out right in front. As he kicked it, the siren went and the crowd went off. It was quite remarkable scenes there. And I've got to say something about that game. It was a good crowd. That was probably one of the best games I've seen in any level. Both teams have to be commended for the way they played the game. No rubbish bullshit, chipping around, time wasting, going wide. Both teams went for it. They went down the corridor. No team tried to sit back. Both teams went for it. And it was an unbelievable game of football. High scoring, close all the way. Mate, the crowd, me, definitely got our money's worth in that game. I'll never forget that game. It was the first time I went to that ground, actually. Big playing surface. The ground in excellent condition. A good crowd there. Great atmosphere. Beautiful day. What more can you say? What more do you want? Brisbane, I think they were the better team. There's no doubt about it. As you can see, they had 7 more scoring shots. They missed some sitters as well. And I just think that Box Hill dug deep in that last quarter. No surprises. Because being basically the best team all year and then losing both your finals in straight sets would have been absolute disaster and embarrassment for that club. They somehow dug deep and pitched the win. Brisbane were disappointed. They had their chances. I underestimated Brisbane. They were very impressive. And Box Hill go on to the prelim. I can keep going on about this game, but enough of that. Now, the interesting head-to-head, Box Hill lead Brisbane, 3 wins to 1 in the VFL. All their games have been played at Box Hill City Oval, so they haven't played anywhere else. Great game of football. Well, if you haven't seen the highlights or the replay or whatever, I recommend you watch it. It was a pulsating game of football. Mate, it's better than some of the AFL games that I've watched. Anyway, now the preliminary finals are in. 2 games, obviously. Both on Saturday. Southport play Frankston at Fankhauser Reserve, 11:25 a.m. Well, I expect Southport to belt up on Frankston, to be honest. This will be the upset of all upsets if Frankston win that game and make the grand final. But Southport, well, the last 2 times, the last 2 years, Frankston gone up. They've been absolutely belted, and I expect Southport to belt them again. The game I'm going to at the Whitten Oval, Footscray, Box Hill. Footscray will be favourites, but Box Hill, they match up well on Footscray. It will be a good game of football. It'll be a good crowd. It'll be a good atmosphere. I think the weather might be okay. This is at 2:10 p.m, so it's going to finish at 5 o'clock-ish. Obviously, the winners of those games will be in the grand final. That will be at Princes Park, Icon Park. So there's no And thank God there's not going to be two Queensland teams in the grand final. That would have been up in Queensland, so thank God for that. Just a bit of news. Tasmania have said, well, they've just told us they've officially joined the VFL next year, so they'll have a full program. So there's going to be 23 teams with St Kilda Sandringham splitting up. Obviously, the Bull Ants, they've changed their name back to Preston, which is good. They're in dire straits. They're probably 50-50 right now to play next year. I hope they don't get booted out. They need your help. Volunteers, the lot. They're asking AFL for assistance. The AFL really need to put their hands in their pockets and help these clubs. Don't worry about the AFLW and all that other stuff. You got to help the old teams, the teams that develop players, get them into the VFL. Rich history, suburban ground, suburban footy, suburban clashes. That's what this VFL is all about. Don't worry about this gimmick interstate teams and wokeness and all that. Just get on with it. Help them out. Keep them in a competition. All the other standalone teams are doing all right now. Coburg, Werribee, Frankston. They were on their knees years ago, and now look at them. Obviously, Port Melbourne strong, Williamstown strong, Southport up there. They'll never die. They're a proud club. So Tasmania will come into competition next year. Should be interesting. It was a good week of footy again. We'll see you in the prelim.